It's Saturday morning. What is this? January the 12th, I think? 13th? I'm not sure. I've been up since about 3. I just made me a little coffee. Trailer Trash Tim here. Thank you for being here, by the way. I was lying in bed just thinking about the really sad news yesterday about Gonzalo Lira, a man who, if you haven't heard, of course, we got word that he has died in a Ukrainian prison. And it's terribly sad that this American citizen was left to rot in jail by his own government. But, I was lying in bed and I was thinking, who's next? Who's next? Gonzalo Lira was an American citizen being detained and jailed and tortured in a Ukrainian prison. And, I got hundreds of comments on my last video about Gonzalo, and I just want to say this. There were some really distasteful comments, and I'm not going to go over that again. There were some people who were just almost applauding what happened to this man, if you can believe it. So I guess you got people from all over the spectrum, but those are just whack jobs. Listen, you can have whatever opinion you want to have about Gonzalo Lira. You can have whatever opinion you want to have about the Ukrainian war and America's role in it if you're an American. You can have whatever opinion you want to have about Israel, what we did in Iraq, what we did in Afghanistan. I'm speaking from the standpoint of an American. Maybe you don't fully understand what happened with the Gonzalo Lira situation, and maybe you don't completely understand the implications of what happened with Gonzalo, which could trickle down to you if you're an American citizen watching me right now. You got to ask yourself, in light of what the American government did or didn't do for one of their own citizens who was being held as a political prisoner in Ukraine, in light of all that, who's next? Could it be you? Could it be me? We have just absolutely cast aside restraint in America anyway, and these people in power inside and surrounding the Beltway and the District of Columbia, there's nobody to stop them. I mean, the gloves are off. Look what they're doing to a former president. Times have changed, ladies and gentlemen. And I was lying in bed before I got up to make some coffee this morning, just thinking, who is next? So we sat back, the American government did, and did nothing to help an American citizen, Gonzalo Lira. Who's next? Who's the next political prisoner to die? Could it be Julian Assange? Julian Assange, a journalist, an editor of WikiLeaks, you might remember that. Julian Assange posted the truthful information about the unconstitutional wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. And for posting the truth, the United States government charged him with espionage because he posted the truth. By the way, a lot of what he posted was also posted by the New York Times and Washington Post. Julian Assange is, the last time I saw him, he didn't look all that great. So, and I don't know what his situation is. Is he going to be the next Gonzalo Lira? Here's a man who did nothing wrong. The United States of America was founded on basic fundamental principles of freedom and liberty. We have the right to free speech in America, or so we're told. We have the right to assemble. We have the right to worship as we choose, or so we're told. But the reality of the situation is You can say whatever you want to say if you're an American citizen, but don't say too much. Because if you piss off the wrong people in the United States, you might wind up getting Gonzalo'd or Assanged. So free speech in America, is it an illusion? Is it a reality? Is it possible that we don't have free speech anymore? Is it possible that, as long as you fly under the radar, I got like 3,600 subscribers. Maybe if I had 3.6 million subscribers, it'd be a different story. I don't know. I hope to find out one day. But I do know this. Look what they did to Alex Jones. They completely bankrupted this man who was simply speaking the truth. If you just go back and look at Alex Jones, this guy was almost like a prophet telling us what was going to happen, and it did happen. So they take him to court and they sue him because of something he said, and they get financial judgments against him for just ridiculous sums, hundreds of millions of dollars that he would never be able to repay, and they know it. Just trying to shut him up. That's all they're doing, just trying to shut him up. Who's next? Alex Jones? How about Edward Snowden? If you're an American citizen, you should thank your lucky stars for people like Edward Snowden, because it was Edward Snowden who shined the light on the surveillance state and said, this is what your government is doing to you. And as soon as he did that, he had to flee the country. No American should ever have to flee the country because they simply spoke their mind. That is completely un-American. And here we open our doors to every illegal alien that wants to cross our border. Yeah, come on in. Let's have a party. But if you're a patriotic American who simply speaks his or her mind or exercises your constitutional rights, you better watch your back, or you might want to flee the country. The very country that's welcoming illegal aliens, many of them being hostile to America. It's just so ass backwards. How about Douglas Mackey? Is he the next Gonzalo Lira? Who's Douglas Mackey, you ask? I've covered this before in previous videos. You may remember Douglas Mackey has been sentenced to prison. What was his crime, you ask? Oh, his crime was tweeting. Tweeting. Douglas Mackey made a tweet. His tweet was a meme with regard to Hillary Clinton, and the essence of his tweet was something to do with the election of 2016. And if you can't get to the polls, call this number. It was a funny tweet, but the United States government didn't think it was funny. And they took Douglas Mackey and they prosecuted him for sharing a meme on Twitter/X. And now he's going to prison for, I believe, 7 months. For tweeting! This guy, I've seen him interviewed. Tucker Carlson interviewed him. Harmless. Just a regular guy who posted a meme, and now he's going to prison. This is in the United States of America. And you know what's so crazy about this, so outrageous about this, is that millions and millions of American citizens don't give a damn. They care more about college football than they do about Americans being held in prison for simply speaking their mind. That's the truth. Sports is the American God, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't but know it. Here in Alabama, we've got people who are falling all over themselves over the fact that their coach retired and they just hired a new coach from the state of Washington, and he comes into the airport in Tuscaloosa last night. Hundreds of people there in the cold weather at 10 p.m. waiting at the airport, screaming, cheering as the new coach gets off the jet. Would they do that for Gonzalo Lira? Hell no! Would they do that for Douglas Mackey? Would they do that for Julian Assange, for Edward Snowden? Where is the outrage for the J6 political prisoners? But if the University of Alabama Crimson Tide loses a football game, everybody loses their shit in Alabama. And I'm not just picking on Alabama. It's all across the country. I'm telling you, we care more about pop culture than we do what's really happening and is really affecting our lives. We care more about pop culture than we do about getting rid of this deranged lunatic in the White House. Most Americans, I dare say, are utterly politically ignorant. And when it comes to issues of absolute importance, they don't know. But they can tell you about Britney or the Kardashians or the Crimson Tide or the whoever, their favorite football team, or the Sixers or the Lakers. And that stuff means nothing. Yes, I like football, I admit it. I like baseball, I admit it. But I'm not rabid. I understand what's most important, and I give these things of importance far more of my attention than I do sports. And so should you. If I could talk to every American and every person in Western Europe, I'd like to just grab them by the shirt collars and say, turn off the television set. Turn off the soccer game. Sit up straight and pay attention at what's happening to your world. There is a full-on assault in the United States and Western Europe anyway on liberty, on freedom, on free speech. Even on social media and even on YouTube, there are certain things that I am told you simply cannot say. And, I'm not vile and I'm not vulgar and I'm not any of those things. I'm just trying to speak the truth, for heaven's sakes. And people that do that should not be shut down. People like Alex Jones, who were booted off of Twitter just because he was speaking the truth. He's back, by the way. How is it, ladies and gentlemen, in the United States of America, you have political prisoners who went to Washington, D.C. on January the 6th, the vast majority of them there, simply to speak their minds. They were pissed off, they were outraged, they were angry, and they had every right to be, because their government has been stolen from them. And they have every right to go up there and protest and make their voices heard. That is our right as an American citizen. And that now so many of them are rotting in prison in the shadow of the effing White House is absolutely disgraceful. It is outrageous, and every single American should get as outraged about that as they should about their football team losing a coach or a game. These are sad times. These are tragic times. I did everything that I could do on my channel to get something done about Gonzalo Lira. He did not meet with a good ending, but at least I can go to bed tonight knowing that I did something. I did something to let people know about, and I'm just one country hick in the sticks in Alabama, okay? But by God, I'm representative of any American who could find their voice and do what I'm doing, if every American would pick up a microphone and make a video like this, we could change things. I'm nothing special. I'm just a guy who gets up and goes to work every morning. But I'm concerned about what's happening to my country, and I'm concerned when an American citizen, a fellow citizen, is allowed to just rot in a Ukrainian jail because his disgraceful president can't even pick up a damn phone. This man should not be dead today. He should be alive and speaking his mind from wherever he wants to. But instead he's dead because Joe Biden wouldn't do shit for him. Yes, I'm pissed off. I got every right to be pissed off, and you should be too. I will speak my mind regarding Edward Snowden, regarding Julian Assange, regarding Douglas Mackey, regarding the J6 prisoners. And you should too. Find your voice. Find your precinct. You may say, I don't know what to do. Do something. Just do something. Talk to your neighbor. Talk to your local representative. Make a video. Do something. People in America have got to wake up. Turn off the football game and tune in to what is really important. Because at the end of the day, if all we have are bread and circuses, we ain't got much. Liberty and freedom are too precious to just sit on our hands and do nothing. Too many people have fought and died to give us what we enjoy. A whole lot of people in this world don't have this. We've still got it, or some vestige of it, and we're going to lose it if we don't do something. Thank you for listening to my rant. I'm tired of asking people to like my videos. You either like it or you don't. You either subscribe or you don't. I'm just going to get on here and speak my mind. It's just a sad day, folks, I'm telling you. My heart is broken for Gonzalo Lira's father and his children and all the people out there, the good people that were doing their best to do something for this man. Alex Cristoforo and Alex Mercuris at the Duran, Tucker Carlson, so many people were doing what they could. But our enemy is this wretched government lorded over by Joe Biden. God help us all.